Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rewind and Reflect, where we believe in the universal truth that there's no such thing as coincidences or mistakes. And we are here to share our life story on that with you. And my name is Deb Miller.
Hi, everybody. I'm Susan Doyle. I record this on Zoom, and I just got a gander of myself. I look like I got hit by a bus today.
No, you don't.
My hair's a little messy. I have 3 layers on, long sleeve shirt, a polar fleece vest, and a wool sweater.
Yeah. Well, and then you just right before we started, you're like, I feel like my hand is tingling
Yeah.
and going numb. And I'm thinking to myself, I think that's probably something that you need to call a doctor about, like right away. Because anytime our
Eh,
arm is tingling and numb, isn't that something to do with our heart? I don't know. You're not
eh.
worried about it.
I think
Meh,
it's the cold. It does
whatever
seem to
happens,
go,
happens.
we'll see. Whatever.
Okay.
Let's
Do
move
you need
on.
to put mittens and gloves on right now or
Not
hand warmers?
yet.
Okay.
Not yet. But do I need to remind you how great my blood work came back a couple weeks
I
ago?
know
So
it
there's
did.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. That's good.
Of course, every time
Um,
I talk to my daughter, I say something like that. And she's like, you told me that. I said, no, but I'm so proud of myself that because as I said, I'm waiting for these blood results. I've never had a workup this big,
mm,
this extensive.
hmm.
And I kind of thought like at 57, almost 58, it was sort of time just to like to see where I am in the range of everything. Plus the fact that I've been like exceptionally cold and tired lately. Um, so. I was like really nervous.
Yeah, I
Like,
would be too.
first of all, I'm not a worrier, and I don't really have fear of something happening to me. I mean, I do have fears, I should say, but I don't have like this intrinsic fear of like, oh my God, I'm going to get cancer, or oh my God, I'm going to have, all the things. And I never really worried about that, like anything really happening with my kids when they
Hmm.
were little, I just sort of kind of just went with it. But I was sort of had this preoccupation while I'm waiting for the blood results to come back to think, what if all of this fucking shit that I have been doing my entire life hasn't worked?
Yeah, it's for
Then what?
nothing. Right.
Like literally boiled chicken and like
Ugh.
lettuce my whole fucking life. What if it didn't work? What if my plan did not work? And so like and it wasn't even like I was worried, but I was just sort of like, God, wouldn't that be kind of like a kick in the
Yeah,
pants, right?
wouldn't that be ironic?
Wouldn't it be? Just like Alanis Morissette used to
Yes.
say,
Isn't
isn't
that
it
ironic?
ironic? But this sort of ties into what we were thinking about talking today about is like fear and worry and I believe that in my opinion,
Hmm.
lately lately as in the last several years, people misuse the word anxiety. I have anxiety rather than saying I'm anxious about this certain
Hmm.
meeting that's coming up or meeting this
Hmm.
person or having this hard conversation or because like we don't all have anxiety, but we
Yeah.
all have had anxious moments. And so I guess like my anxious moment lately, call it anxious, worry, fear, was waiting for these blood results to come back. And, so yeah, I mean, that's sort of what I have to say about that.
Yeah. And I get it. I had a worry freak out this week that I called you about. I had to have a conversation with a friend and I was very concerned about it. And then it ended up being like completely
Right,
nothing. And you're like,
right.
see all of that negative energy and worry energy that you put out, all for nothing. So we have to remind ourselves like what we build up in our head is never really the reality of
Right.
things. So, and I
And
like how
just
you
like when
said,
people label themselves, I'm a worrier. Well, not really, but you worry about certain things.
Yes, because when you say I am something, then you're owning
It
that.
becomes
It
you.
becomes you. And we don't ever want to do that unless we say
Right.
I am love or I am happiness or, the positive things. Absolutely. But not, I am blah, blah. Yeah, I totally get that. It's got to be, it has to, you can't own those negative emotions.
It's
And,
funny. I read this quote once. It said, worry is like walking around with an umbrella opening, thinking it's going to rain.
mm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So also lots of times you worry yourself into
Right, a state of anxiety.
a state of mind that is like, so anyway, let's tell the listeners you called me about this worrisome situation. And after listening to what you had to say, I said, you're allowing your runaway train brain to take over. Like
Hmm.
you have already concocted this whole story
Of course I have.
based on one unanswered attempt at communication.
Right. That's exactly right. Yes.
So you threw open that umbrella.
Yeah. But I will tell you something that I laid in bed this morning having a feisty argument and fight in my head with somebody. and and I was like, and then, and then, and I just let it get away from me.
Yeah.
But I kept I had to like stop and say, stop. You're
Yes.
in a like your mind, don't let you need to stay in a peaceful state of mind and let that go. And because I was about to revisit something that angered me last week. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, just let it go. Let it go. And but I played out this whole thing but I caught myself. I was like, you know what? Stop it. You need to live in a peaceful state in your mind. It's silly sometimes how our brains can just run away.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
it comes
But it
down,
brain hears, okay, so our brain and our physical body hears I have anxiety. And so, I believe subconsciously you live into that label.
yeah.
I'm a worrier. So you subconsciously, live into I'm a hypochondriac. Well, not
Mm-hmm.
really. Like you really
Mm-hmm.
are not. You just
Mm-hmm.
expend way too much energy into thinking that you're going to get sick.
Right, right, right. Instead of saying I am, you should say I'm concerned with, or
Correct.
I'm at this moment I'm worried about XYZ. And the other
And then
thing
you
I've
need to
learned,
check yourself to see if you have proof of that.
right.
Like, okay, when was the last time you actually got sick other than like a common cold or a sore throat or something?
Yeah.
Like, where is the basis for that label?
The other thing also is you got to say it out loud to somebody and be open enough to hear their feedback. Um, and not take it in a way that you feel invalidated because they're not necessarily feeding into that or agreeing with you. They're giving you other options on how to view the situation. So and I feel there's times when that has happened with me. It's like somebody comes to me and says blah 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 blah, and I say to them in return, well, what if you looked at it like this? And then they're not ready to hear the alternative. They just need somebody to listen to them say, I'm really sorry you're feeling that way. And you know, if you if you'd like, some guidance or help with that, let me know. If not, I'm just here to listen. But
And,
I,
when you speak it out loud,
mhm,
more often than not, you can see it for what it really is and you can let it go if there's no truth behind it, or you can deal with it
right,
if there is a little truth behind it,
right.
you know?
Before we get into everything, I wanted to give an update. I said I would take everybody on this journey of mine of getting off my antidepressants.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I haven't asked you. So this, I just want everybody to know that you and I do not talk about this in between calls because
Right.
I want to hear like real time with everybody else. Go
Well,
ahead.
okay, so here's it's very anticlimactic because I haven't yet started to get off of the antidepressants because Laura has said to me, you do not do that until I tell you that you're ready. Not a second before. So I'm like, okay, so
And does she tell you that you're ready while you're in a hypnotic state?
I don't think so. I don't know because she hasn't told me I'm ready yet. So I'll let you know. That's more to
Okay.
come on that. But
Okay.
I have my doctor's plan of how to wean off of these. I've double checked with a pharmacist because I don't know. She told me to. She goes, go to a pharmacist, not to your doctor. Your doctor's always going to give in to the pharmaceutical people. So, but I went to my doctor
I'm
and
kind
he
of on board with that whole conspiracy theory. So go ahead.
totally, I
Pharmacists don't really, they have no vested interest
exactly.
whatsoever. And actually, if they have one less prescription to fill every month, they're very happy.
They're
So
happy.
they'll give you honest feedback.
So she originally said, don't go to your doctor, go to your pharmacist. But I use an online pharmacy. So there was no pharmacist for me to ask. So I did ask my doctor. Nowadays you have to go through the patient portal and email and stuff like that, which was fine because I really didn't feel like having a discussion with him.
Hmm.
Because if he was going to say, no, that's not a good idea, I don't feel like I was strong enough to say, I probably
Hmm.
would have been like, okay, fine, I'll stay on him. But I emailed and I asked him flat out, and he got back to me with a plan. So I was really happy. So,
You
but
mean
then
like a
look,
decreasing uh
yeah, yes, it's a
in strength or whatever you want to call
no,
that?
actually, I was surprised at that. So it was the same amount, but every other day. Don't take it every other day for 2 weeks, and then you go
Hmm.
to like, don't take it for the next 2 weeks. You only take twice a week for 2 weeks, whatever. So I did end up going to I was picking up a prescription for Kevin, and I asked that pharmacist there, and she was so clueless. She literally had to look it up on Chat GPT.
Stop it. Oh, that
She's like,
frightens me. Now I'm worried.
I know. She goes, I don't really know. And she said, let me look it up. And I was like, are you Googling that shit? But yeah,
Yeah.
she
Yeah,
ended
let me
up,
look it up right here on my phone in front of you.
yeah. And I was like, all right,
Oh
and I
God.
had already done that as well. But anyway, so we're all aligned. It's fine, but I haven't started it yet. But she did do another, so we start our session just checking in. She has my dream journals. I email her all my dreams. I write them down when I get up. I email them to her. And so because I have so many and they're so crazy that
Hmm.
she said to me, you need to get these to me before our weekly meeting so I have a chance to review them because there's too many pages. So
Hmm.
I did that. So we went over some of the dreams.
Do you see
And
her weekly?
yeah, every week it's
Okay.
for 12 weeks and for an hour. And so we went over the dreams, and again, basically she's like, this all just points to abandonment issues. That's it. She's like, you know, your fear of abandonment. So then we go into the hypnotic state, and she has me again counting down, this time from 50 by threes. So
Oh,
again, I'm
but that's a
like,
little easier than 100, don't you think?
yeah, but equally like confusing to me. So I'm still like 50. It's so hard for me to count backwards. Anyways, and that's like a 20-minute thing, and she's just talking and talking and talking, but because I'm focusing on my task, I'm not really hearing what she's saying. But at the
Yeah.
end, she said, what did you hear from me? What did you hear? And there were like a couple things that I heard her say. So I don't know and I'm glad I don't know what it is that she's waiting for me to do or not do before she starts
Mm-hmm.
having me wean off these. Now, so right now it's just kind of like a therapy session, which is fine.
So
But
can you remember anything that she says? Like when she said that to you, did you say, "Oh
yeah,
yeah, I remember you saying XYZ?"
I did. I remember like the first time she did it, um, I remember her saying that my restless legs would stop because for a couple nights prior to seeing her, I'd have like restless, I couldn't sleep. And so and that has since stopped. She
Really?
talks about my headaches because I have chronic headaches and I'm trying to get a handle on those. She said that's all just repressed thoughts and feelings, and we're breaking all that up. So, she talks about, I don't really even know. I can't even remember, but it's more like think goals that we want to reach, you know.
Let
And
me
I'll say
interrupt.
to
In yoga, they say that your life is lived within your body. So, like what she said makes total
oh,
sense to me.
okay, yeah, yeah.
Your life
I
is lived in your
sure.
body.
So when you're having any kind of pain or discomfort in your body, it's usually linked to something
Yeah,
that
but
you've
mostly like,
experienced.
a lot of I interpret it more like chronic. Like if you have chronic headaches,
Yeah,
there's something that
yeah,
you're holding on to that is causing that. Low back pain, hip pain. For me, it's my neck. Like there's something that I am holding on to that is
yeah.
causing that.
Well, and your chakras, that makes perfect sense because like
Yeah.
your throat
Hmm.
chakra represents communication or something
Hmm.
like that.
Yeah.
So, and let's face it, I'll speak for myself. Sometimes I'd rather just hold it in than talk about it because it's
Ugh,
not
me
worth it.
too. Yeah, which is not healthy, but that's
Yeah,
for another
that's for a whole
podcast.
nother thing. So right now I am still, I haven't started weaning, and that's why you're probably seeing me act somewhat normal, I guess. The real fun's going to happen when I start to wean off of these to really see what is going to go down.
Okay, but don't bring anything into it.
No, I
I mean,
won't.
so don't bring any of that, just like we talked about in the beginning, like don't bring any of that dialogue into the weaning
Yeah,
process.
you're right.
Because what
I
you do
know.
is you set yourself up for looking for things that may not even be there.
I know, so true, but it's really hard.
It is very hard.
It's
You
really
have to be,
hard.
maybe, I'm assuming, and I'm not there, I'm not within your conversation. Um, I'm assuming it's going to be so subtle
Yeah.
what she says to you that you're not going to, you're not going to be you're not going to be like, okay, I am starting right now
Yeah.
and have this worry, fear, anxiety about what's going to happen. I think what she's doing is she's trying, obviously retraining your brain that when you do start coming off of these things, you're not going to feel it
Yeah.
because whatever she is doing is taking over for what the meds are doing.
Right.
So,
That's
you
what her
know,
claim is, and that's just what
yeah,
is going to happen. But tied into our conversation today of fear, um, fear to me, it always it's when I get fearful, it's because I feel like I don't have control over a situation.
correct.
I mean, any situation, and especially I think health, the health of other people that I care about and love. Like, because when somebody that you love is not doing well, there's nothing you can do to change
No,
that. Like, as spiritually, you can, you can pray and do all the positive things, but you can't make their cancer or diabetes or whatever go away.
correct.
So, um, I read this time. I'm gonna read it to our audience. And I found it on social media somewhere I'm on Eckhart Tolle's little whatever social media. And this is what he says: if uncertainty is unacceptable to you, then it turns into fear. If it's perfectly acceptable, it turns into increased aliveness, alertness, and creativity. If your peace depends on everything going right, that's not peace, that's control. Learning to be steady in uncertainty, that's real growth. So
Yeah.
I love
So
that.
so that I love that. So let the audience be told. So you sent me the picture with this quote in it. And I said, oh my God, like again, nothing happens, by coincidence. I am rereading one of my yoga books from when I took training a long time ago called The Yamas and Niyamas. And the section that I read last night was about fear. And I was
Wow.
like, oh my God, this is
Yeah.
so, not a
Apropos.
coincidence, but
Right.
yeah, so maybe we both needed to hear that. And that's why it sort of popped up. And that's why after, my God, 8 years, I picked up this book. 7 years, I picked
For
up this
whatever
book.
reason. Yeah, you needed to hear
Yeah.
that passage that you read.
Of course. I mean, here's what I'm gonna say. We think we're in control, but we're not. And when the universe reminds us that we're not, we grip tighter out of fear, worry, and anxiety
Mm-hmm.
of the unknown.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And in AA, same thing. We have to understand that we're not in control of the disease, of the alcohol, of the drugs, of anything. We have no, but once we admit that and we can ask for help and let go of that control, all things change.
Hmm.
And I think our lives, we've been programmed to have XYZ, a life plan the way that we it's meant to be.
Correct.
But so we hold on to things that are no longer useful to us, are no longer bring joy to us, no longer allow us to grow the
Hmm.
way we need to grow because we're trying to fit a square hole a hole into a round a square peg into a round
Around a square
hole
peg into a round hole. Yep.
is what I'm trying to say. Hmm. So, and that is the universe saying, let it go,
Yeah.
walk
So
away.
in the yoga that I practice, we talk about true north alignment, which is aligning your physical body on true north, which is square, kind of like plumb and square.
Hmm.
Um, but what it does when you do that physically, you align with your higher purpose, that
Mm,
true north. And then you breathe and you set your gaze on something steady, and that just
mm,
carries you through.
mm.
It's the same kind of thing.
It's kind of like when you're that just reminded me of like being out in the deep sea and you start to feel seasick and you're supposed to look at the horizon and just focus
Mm-hmm.
on the steadiness of the
And
horizon. And
that
that
steadies you.
yeah,
Exactly.
it makes you
Yeah.
feel better.
And it helps you feel it helps you feel steady during an unsteady time.
Yeah.
So I want to read you. So after you sent me that, right,
Yeah.
I'm reading this book and um it was a chapter about nonviolence and not necessarily like nonviolence in the way that you would want to stab somebody in the neck, more like nonviolent about I mean that is part of it, but also just nonviolence out into the world. Like,
I'm
don't.
just laughing because I'm like, I can see you being like, I need to read things on nonviolent violence, I can't, what do I got
How
here
do
that'll teach me
I
not to be
talk
violent?
myself out of wanting to stab somebody?
Okay, go ahead.
So, worry is another way violence gets masked as caring. Worry is a lack of faith in the other and cannot exist simultaneously with love.
Mm,
Either we have faith in the other person to do their best or we don't. Worry says, I don't trust you to do your life right. Worry comes from a place of arrogance that I know better what should be happening in your life. Worry says, I don't trust your journey or your answers or timing. Worry is fear that hasn't grown up yet. It is a misuse of our imagination. We both devalue and insult others when we worry about them.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
That's huge. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love
I was
that.
like, that one I highlighted. Couldn't find it this morning, but I did highlight it after I found it. And it was unbelievable.
Yeah. That resonated with me big time. Big time. Because not only does that allow you to take the pressure off of your shoulders regarding somebody else's behaviors or whatever, it also kind of slaps you on the hand and says, this is none of your business. That's their journey.
Right, exactly. And who are you to say that you know better than them?
That's right. Or know better than what
The
God has
universe.
planned for them.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Worry is fear that hasn't matured, grown up yet.
Grown up yet. Yeah, that's so good. Okay, I'm gonna stop worrying about everybody and everything. It's none of my
Yeah. I
business.
mean, you can
You
kind
do
of take
too.
it back to, and here's the thing, you can also take it to yourself.
Mm,
You know, you're worried about this or worried about that or worried about that. Like, who are you to say that you know better than what
mhm.
the universe has in store for you?
Yeah, that's so true. Stop trying to control things, man. Stop trying to control people, places, and things. It's
Mm-hmm.
all it's going to do is get you all twisted up. And we're coming up on the holidays, and people get really stressed out now, and
Yes,
their behavior is going to change. And if we all just understand, like, don't worry, it's all going to work out.
it will. It will, because here's the thing, when you worry or you plan too much, right? And when I say planning, like you think you're doing a good thing by planning, like it's not necessarily a negative thing. You think it's a positive thing,
Mm,
right? You nuance the truth and you stuff what you think is reality into one of those two avenues, into one of
mm.
those two tunnels. Either worrying about it, you stuff your perceived reality into that,
Yeah,
or a positive plan, you stuff your perceived reality into that. Both of those scenarios, you are not present and you are questioning what is in store for you based on what the universe or your God has to say.
right.
And the whole entire thing, both are ego driven.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You got to get out of your own way.
And it's
And
like you don't want to think that your positive plan or your negative worry is wrong, because that would hurt your ego. That would hurt your pride, right?
right, right.
So you just make that happen. You try and force that into reality.
Yes, and everybody is being run by their own egos and their own pride, and
And their perceived reality. Yeah,
that's when conflict
exactly.
happens.
Agreed.
Yeah. I
Agreed.
mean, we see it daily in the political environment that we're
Oof.
in, and
Yeah.
I absolutely positively refuse to give any energy to that, to people who that are close to me that have different points of view. I respect and honor them, and they don't try to change me and the way I think about things, and I don't try to change
Hmm.
them. And our friendships are based on other things besides our political
Yeah.
views. But it's when somebody tries, their ego gets in a position where they have to prove that they're right about something.
Hmm.
That's when relationships get shattered, and you lose things that are important.
Yeah. Agreed.
So um but I do love that whole thing about worrying. I that I actually last year, for some of my friends in their stockings, I bought these little worry dolls because everybody is always concerned about something. I have one left. It says love yourself. Do you
I
know
love
that?
that.
There is no person in the world like you. You deserve to be loved, not only by those around you, but by the most important person in your life, you.
I love that.
Yeah. So, but just the fact that there's somebody is manufacturing worry dolls,
Worry dolls, it's a problem. Yeah.
you know,
Profiting off of other people's worry.
right, right.
Well, there you
I
go. That's a
know.
capitalistic American society, right?
Yeah.
We're
So
done.
I we have to stay in our own lane and just all we have to do is approach people with love and kindness.
Yeah. And if you can't, just go about your business.
Yeah,
Like if you can't do that for other human beings, then just don't try.
I
Don't force
know.
it, but don't do it. Like don't, you know what I'm saying? I wish everybody could. I mean, everybody's capable of doing it. That's not what I'm saying, but
Yeah, I think I told you guys the story about the bless your heart. I think I told this the bless your heart story a couple probably at the beginning of our podcasting, but um I have a neighbor here who is from Ohio. And so, the Midwest, it's when somebody says to you, bless your heart, it sounds very sweet and very kind and loving, but it's also a little snarky, like, bless your heart, you stupid POS, like that's so, but a
bless
lot of
your
people,
heart, you fucking moron.
right, exactly. Exactly. But a lot of people don't know that. So when they hear, bless your heart,
Like,
they're like,
oh, yeah, there's
oh,
a little passive aggressiveness behind it for
yeah.
sure. Yes.
So, and I'll tell the story briefly. So we were on our way somewhere, Kevin and I was driving, and we were on a one-lane road here on Longboat Key, and the traffic is just insane during busy season. So we're at a stop, and I happen to be stopped on a crosswalk. Now it's the sidewalk, one lane, another lane, and then the beach. So it's like a beach drive. It's not
Yeah.
a highway by any means. So I accidentally stopped in a crosswalk, and this guy walks. Of course, we have the windows down. It's a beautiful day, and this guy and his wife and a friend come up to, and he starts yelling, "Get out of the fucking crosswalk! You're on the fucking crosswalk!" And I go, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." He's like, "Don't be sorry. Just don't fucking do it again." And Kevin was ready to jump out of the car, but I was like, I hit
Nope.
him. I
Nope.
like calm down and I
Down,
go,
boy, down.
yeah, down, sit. And I said to him, I said to the guy, I said, "Oh, bless your heart." And he looked at me and he didn't know what to say or what to do. So he goes, "Okay," and he keeps walking. And they were so taken back by me saying that to them. Like instead of yelling back, I just said, "Bless your heart, sir."
Yeah.
And
Asshole.
yeah, and he completely, the whole situation was diffused. And I'm not one to yell and scream and fight back, but I know that Kevin was ready to jump out of the car and I knew it was going to end up being like this.
Hmm.
And I didn't want that. And so when I said that, it just diffused everything. And so now when people cut me off in traffic or if they honk their horn at me because whatever, or I just say to them, bless your heart, like,
Bless your heart.
and move on with my
Hmm.
day because it's so easy to get all twisted up about
It really is.
everything, especially during this time of year. And it's really sad that this has to happen. But, anyways, if we can just show some love and gratitude to people and also understand that, everybody has a life that they're living and it's not rainbows and butterflies.
Right.
No matter how good your life is, there's still challenges. And we have to be respectful of that with other people.
Agreed. Wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah. So
No,
next
don't worry. Be
about a
happy.
thing. Yes, exactly. Like he wrote that song. I love that song. Um, we are lined up to have three guests coming up.
Yes. Yes, yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So excited.
Yes. And then we've got others that are waiting to be booked. So I love it because people reach out to us and they're like, oh, we love your podcast. I'd love to be a guest on it. And I'm like, Brian, whatever. If you have something you want to
Yeah.
share, something you want to talk about, we are 100% into that.
And Lil Carrot, this is a woman that we knew from childhood.
Hmm.
One of them, two of them actually.
Yeah.
That oh my goodness, I haven't seen probably since, our junior year in high school,
Right.
most likely,
Yeah.
because she was a little bit older than us.
Yeah. But both of these women that are going to be on are have experienced life and it's their
Mm-hmm.
hardships and have done the work and come out on the other side and they have
Love it.
a story to tell. Next
Love it. Love it.
next week though, it'll be our little Kristen Dean. She's back. She's gonna be
Love
back in the house.
her.
I know. And we're gonna have a conversation about relapse prevention during the holidays.
Yeah.
This is one huge time when people just go completely off the rails. And so we have some tidbits for those who are trying to keep it together, those that are in recovery, um, those who have eating disorders, which this time of year is really difficult. So we're going to talk about
Mm-hmm.
all of that.
All right. Well, till next time, sis. It looks like you have
Mm.
one layer of short sleeve shirt. I have three layers of fleece.
What did you
Be
get for
well.
snow? Did you get a lot of snow there?
Um, Maybe like 4 inches, but it was and then it rained a little bit, so it does
Yeah.
look like some of it disappeared. It was like that heavy,
Mm,
like very humid, not dry snow, very wet
thick and
snow.
heavy. Yeah.
Yeah. But I can see a little bit of greenery this morning, so some of it melted,
Oh.
or some of
If
them.
it's going to snow, you want it to really snow.
I am good for one, like, shut you in
Yeah.
snowstorm a year, and then I
Hmm.
want it to be
That's right.
gone,
That's how I was too.
gone.
Yeah.
We'll
Yep.
see.
All right,
I mean,
honey.
I have to remind myself it's December, so it is supposed to snow, but
I know, but
yeah,
sometimes you'd get nothing all winter.
I
But I
like
think
those
this
kind of
is going to be
winters.
a snowy year. So,
All right, we got to go with that comment.
yes. Love you all.
Love you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
See you next week.